Alright, men. The commander has given us a new assignment.
So the commander's giving us a new ass?
Yes, Peter. We have a donkey.
So, what's our mission this time?
The Empire strikes back.
What's wrong with it?
The timelines don't sync up.
NSYNC was never in Star Wars, that was a rumor!
And after Justin Timberlake's performance in the Southland Tales, I say bullet dodged.
So what exactly is wrong with the timeline in Empire?
Okay, here's the thing. The Empire finds the rebel base on Hoth and sends a squadron of Imperial walkers
AT-ATs.
to attack it. The rebels flee, and Luke, instead of joining with the rest of the fleet, takes his X-Wing and R2-D2 to find Yoda on Dagobah.
And that's because Jacob Marley appeared to him on Hoth and told him to go to the Dagobah system.
It wasn't Jacob Marley, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Same actor.
So maybe Jacob Marley and Obi-Wan Kenobi are the same character.
And that means Han Solo is Tiny Tim!
That makes no sense!
Marshall, what is Triple P's motto?
When we're done, it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Perfect sense to Salvador Dali.
What was that?
Nothing. Can we fix the timelines before we fix Tiny Tim?
Yes, of course.
I still don't understand what the problem is with the timeline.
While Luke and R2 are on Dagobah with Yoda, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and 3PO are in the Millennium Falcon being chased through the asteroid field by a fleet of Star Destroyers.
So we have two lines of plot.
Yes, and we cut back and forth between them for the middle part of the movie, right until the time the Falcon goes to Cloud City and Luke gets a psychic force vision and leaves to rescue them.
And he uses the mad skills Yoda taught him to fight Darth Vader, who reveals he's Luke's father.
Dude, spoilers!
Do you really think that anyone watching this video hasn't seen the movie?
Okay, so the parallel storylines are told interchangeably until they converge. So the problem is?
The problem is that the amount of time needed for each storyline is uneven. Either Luke was trained by Yoda in a single afternoon, or the Millennium Falcon was chased through that asteroid field for weeks, if not months.
Well, which one is it?
It's clear that Luke was not trained in an afternoon, so the Millennium Falcon was stuck inside that asteroid for 7 months, 3 weeks, 15 hours, 43 minutes, and 7 seconds.
So why is it clear that Luke wasn't trained in an afternoon?
And how did you come up with such a specific time period for Luke's training?
It took me longer than a single afternoon to figure out how to get my VCR clock to stop blinking 12. I think we can all agree mastering the Force is tougher than mastering a VCR, so it would take longer as well.
There is some logic to that.
I don't know, man. VCRs are tricky mofos.
Again, I ask about the time period.
Simple. I just used the amount of ambient light on each successive scene in Dagobah to calculate the passing of the seasons, along with the amount of vegetation that grew on the hull of Luke's X-Wing to arrive—
You just pulled those numbers out of your ass, didn't you?
That info is above your pay grade.
He's getting paid? Wait a minute. How much time did the Millennium Falcon spend in the penis monster?
You call the Exogorth the penis monster?
What the fuck is an Exogorth?
It's the space slug. The creature in the asteroid that the Millennium Falcon hides in. That thing that looks like the love child of Moby Dick and a graboid. That was what you were referring to. Wasn't it?
Yeah, the Exogorth is a penis monster.
Penis monster?
Yeah, the Sarlacc is a vagina, then the Exogorth is a penis.
Thank you so much for that lovely mental image.
Anytime.
By my calculations, the Falcon spent nearly all the time that Luke was training, about 78% of it, inside the penis monster.
Can we please not call it that?
Feeling inadequate, huh?
No, I just think it's disrespectful.
Well, we call Moma Naden Hammerhead and Ponda Baba Walrus Man.
John Lennon's the walrus.
Cuckoo Cachoo!
So, getting back on track, the Millennium Falcon was hiding out inside the inside the Exogorth.
That is correct.
And they spent the rest of the time hiding out on the hull of the Star Destroyer and then at Cloud City.
Affirmative.
So, how did they survive inside the Exogorth for that long?
Wouldn't they have run out of food?
Not if they had replicators.
And replicators are Star Trek technology.
Technology can be common to both universes.
Right, so apparently both universes have cloaking devices.
But it's never established they do have replicator technology in the Star Wars universe.
But it's never established that they don't.
If they have replicators, then why do people on Tatooine have to farm for moisture?
Do you think they could afford replicators on Tatooine? Replicators are Coruscant technology.
If they even exist in the Star Wars universe to begin with.
Gentlemen, there is a bigger question than replicators.
What's that?
If the Falcon was inside the penis monster...
The next person to call it that loses his.
So if the Falcon was in the Exegorth for months, wouldn't they have been digested?
Well, if it takes a Sarlacc over 1,000 years to digest one person, it could take longer for the Exegorth to digest a spaceship.
That's assuming that both creatures have the same metabolism.
Well, they are both large.
So the Sarlacc is slow. Wouldn't that make the Exegorth fast?
How so?
It's because penises are faster than vaginas.
You are walking a tight rope, sir.
Hold on a second. Peter's right.
He is?
I have had a flash of divine inspiration. The answer to this conundrum is now clear.
Go on.
The Exegorth was faster than the Sarlacc. The Millennium Falcon and its crew were digested.
So Han and Leia and all the rest, they were broken down by the creature's enzymes?
Yes. Yes, they were.
I think I see where he's going with this.
It can't go anywhere. He's just killed off Han and Leia in the middle of the movie.
Wait, I haven't told you about the spores.
Yeah, man, see? It's all about the spores.
Oh, God. Spores?
Living in the cold void of space, the Exegorth does not get to eat that regularly. Do you think spaceships fly into its mouth every day?
Yes?
Well, they don't. The Exegorth is lucky if it gets to eat 3 times in a century.
So how does the Exegorth survive?
It produces spores inside itself. That way, while the original crew are being digested slowly
And painfully.
by the enzymes, the spores merge and gather together to create clones of the ship and its occupants. That way, the Exegorth can keep digesting the same thing over and over until something new comes along.
So the Hanan crew that fly out and go to Cloud City aren't the originals. They're clones!
Exactly.
Right now, the idea of Luke being trained in a single afternoon is looking more and more agreeable to me.
Why, man? I mean, the timelines do sync up. This has been the easiest mission we've ever done. Alright, look. Luke has had all this time to be training as a Jedi with Yoda, and now we know what Han and Leia have been up to. They've been inside the Exegorth this whole time, being digested over and over and over again.
Yes, this plot hole is now fixed. Thanks to the spore clones.
God bless the spore clones.
Mastering the art of the Jedi in a few hours makes more sense than the idea that 4 of the main characters were a bunch of spore clones.
So what are you, a clonist?
Clones are a part of the Star Wars universe.
Yes, but the clones in the Clone Wars weren't made of spores.
Oh, so you're a sporist.
I'm not an anythingist.
Anyway, having the story take a few months gives Darth Vader the extra time he needs to assemble the bounty hunters.
That's right. This whole time I thought Darth Vader just had those bounty hunters on standby.
What, you mean like for a rainy day or something?
Yeah. Wasn't that silly of me?
Would the bounty hunters have had their own table in the Star Destroyer cafeteria?
Yeah, man. Bounty hunters had their own clique. You know what I'm saying?
You know, now that I think about it, it makes sense that Darth Vader would have a team of bounty hunters on call.
An elite Delta force of badass.
First of all, the bounty hunters were not a team. They each acted on their own. Second of all, the bounty hunters were not on call. Bounty hunters aren't affiliated with the Empire or the Rebel Alliance or any political ideology. They are independent contractors who work for the highest bidder.
Right. Reference that line in The Empire Strikes Back.
Bounty hunters. We don't need that scum.
That Imperial officer was mad because Darth Vader was outsourcing the job of finding the Millennium Falcon.
So... the bounty hunters are the India of the Star Wars universe?
So we can all agree the bounty hunters were not on call, they were assembled.
Like the motherfucking Avengers.
And Darth Vader would have needed time to assemble the bounty hunters, ergo the plot takes a few weeks, ergo the Millennium Falcon is in the Exegorth for a few weeks, ergo spore clones.
God bless the spore clones.
You know, Darth Vader wouldn't have needed extra time to get the bounty hunters together if he put out a call for them before the Battle of Hoth.
Except he wasn't looking for the Millennium Falcon specifically until after the Battle of Hoth, when the Falcon was lost in the asteroid field with the Exegorth and the Spore clones.
God bless the Spore clones.
Why do you keep saying that?
Penis monster?
I hate you.
I know.
So, are we all done? We all agreed it was the Spore clones.
Yeah, the Spore clones.
Fine. It was this... Wait a minute, just wait 1 minute! Of course! That's it!
Yeah, we agreed it was Spore clones.
Fuck you and your damn Spore clones!
Blasphemy!
Yeah, Marshall, that's a bit harsh.
I see an explanation for this that doesn't require us having to resort to clones.
What is your problem with clones?
I have no problem with clones, as a concept.
So why can't we use spores to fix the plot hole?
Fans consider the revelation that a character was a clone the whole time as a betrayal. Just look at the Clone Saga in Spider-Man.
Fans weren't betrayed when they revealed Boba Fett as a clone. That's how he was able to find Han and the gang. Clones can sense their own kind.
He used his clone sense.
He did not use his clone sense. He found the Millennium Falcon because he's the best damn bounty hunter in the galaxy. There's no such thing as clone sense. And even if there was such a thing as clone sense, it would not have made a difference because the Han, Leia, Chewie, and 3PO we see in Episode 4 are the same Han, Leia, Chewie, and 3PO we see in Episode 6. They were never clones.
So what is your clone-free explanation for the plot hole?
Yeah, enlighten us.
Luke was trained on Dagobah over the course of several weeks, and concurrently, the Millennium Falcon went from Hoth through the asteroid field to Bespin over the course of a few days.
That's just crazy talk.
So what you're saying is that two different crews are experiencing the flow of time differently?
Which is the exact plot hole we are trying to fix.
It makes perfect sense, thanks to Albert Einstein and the theory of special relativity.
So isn't that the theory that you're not allowed to fuck your own cousin?
No.
Okay.
Please continue on about Einstein.
The theory of relativity states that time slows down as you approach the speed of light. Normally in Star Wars, you circumvent this phenomenon by going into hyperspace, which exists at the overlap of many different dimensions beyond the basic four.
Get a load of Stephen Hawking here.
Now the hyperdrive on the Falcon is broken, so Han can't take a ship into hyperspace. Therefore, the Falcon can only travel at speeds approaching the speed of light. The people on board the Falcon would experience time differently than Luke. What would be months for Luke would be days for the Falcon.
I guess.
Like Triple P says, it all makes perfect sense.
I get what you're getting at, Marshall. Since the Falcon can't go into hyperspace, the hyperspace fairies get lonely for Han and Leia, and they make the Exegorth create spore clones.
God bless the Spore clones!
God bless you, Tiny Tim.
God bless us, everyone.